boss fired me in front of the entire office, and 3 weeks later, security escorted him out of the building. I used to work at this tiny finance company where everybody was scared of the boss, not respected, actually scared. This guy would walk through the office in complete silence like he was a movie villain preparing for a monologue nobody asked for. And for some reason, he absolutely hated me. Probably because I was the only employee dumb enough to ask questions like, "Hey, why are client charges changing after invoices are sent?" You know, tiny detail, very illegal-looking detail. Anyway, one Friday morning, the office internet completely dies. Nobody can work. Everyone's just sitting there waiting for IT to fix it. Then my boss storms out of his office already angry at the existence of oxygen itself. He looks around, sees me sitting at my desk, and instantly locks onto me like I personally unplugged the building. Then he starts yelling across the office, "Maybe if you spent less time pretending to work and more time actually working." Bro, the internet was down. Even the HR lady stopped typing. That's how bad it was. Then this man points at me and goes, "Get your stuff. You're done." Dead silence. One coworker literally whispered, "Oh my God." Now here's the part he didn't think through. I handled client corrections, backups, payment records, basically all the invisible boring stuff keeping the company from exploding. Because my boss had this very interesting talent where he'd accidentally overcharge clients, then quietly blame employees when people noticed, and for months, I'd been fixing his mistakes behind the scenes before clients could see them. Not because I liked him, I just enjoyed having electricity in my apartment. So I grab my bag and leave. No speech, no arguing, nothing. And my boss is standing there smirking like he just defeated the final boss in a video game. Then 2 weeks later, I get a text from one of my coworkers. "Dude, you need to call me." Apparently, a huge client requested a financial review, which turned into an audit, which turned into absolute chaos. Because without me fixing everything in the background anymore, all the mistakes were suddenly visible: duplicate charges, missing payments, incorrect invoices, random numbers that made absolutely no sense. My coworker said management was panicking, and then my phone starts ringing. Guess who? My old boss. I ignore it. Then he calls again, and again, and again, 7 times. Then he leaves me a voicemail trying to sound friendly. "Hey, buddy. Just wondering if you could help explain some accounting things." Oh, now I'm buddy. Interesting. I ignored every single call. Then a few days later, my coworker texts me again. "Bro, it happened." Apparently, management pulled my boss into a meeting and started questioning him about the missing money, and this man completely folded, started blaming random employees, started contradicting himself. At one point, he literally said, "I thought he was handling that," talking about me, the guy he publicly fired. Smart strategy. Then came the best part. 3 days later, security walked him out of the building carrying a tiny cardboard box with his coffee mug inside, the exact same way he made me leave. Except nobody looked shocked this time. One coworker apparently started clapping, so in the end, my boss didn't ruin my career. He just accidentally removed the only person stopping his own downfall.